Hey, the sun isn't shining where I am today, but I'm still feeling good.
Good. Oh, wonderful. So welcome if you're joining us over on StreamYard, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or on Instagram. Christopher on Instagram is saying nice video. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you. We're very excited to be here with you today. Sarah from Blossom Tree Social is saying that the sun is shining here and that you are feeling motivated. That is really wonderful to hear. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're talking all about overwhelm, because sometimes we feel really good and we feel really high energy and highly motivated. And then I think it's probably true for all of us, that we've hit periods of overwhelm and we get a bit stuck and we're not sure how to move forward. So before we get into it, Rebecca, I'll just get you, if that's okay, just to give a little intro. I haven't explained who on earth we are and what we're doing here.
Yeah, and I don't even know what the etiquette is for Happy New Year, but this is this is like one of our very first kickstart to 2023. So for those people that have never come across us before, we are Sarah and Rebecca, and we are the founders of the Coaching Catalyst. We are both ICF, ACC accredited transformation coaches, mindset coaches, and we work with leaders, female entrepreneurs and professionals, helping them to thrive in all areas of their life. We work on mindset, we work on clarity, we work on confidence, career change, and we really just work with you to live that life you love, doing what you love, being the best version of yourself for you, for your loved ones, and for those people around you. So we offer coaching, we are coach trainers, we are also coach supervisors, we have a membership, and we have some other extra special treats ready for you this year, which we will be sharing in the future. So keep your eyes and ears open and peeled for that.
Great intro. Thanks, Rebecca. I think you've got that all covered. I think between us, we forget what on earth we do. So hope that you've got that, guys. We're going to talk today about overwhelm. And do you know what? When I think about overwhelm, I feel like it feels like a heavy blanket that comes down over my head. And I'm like, I can't see a way forward. And my brain doesn't work properly either. How does overwhelm come up for you, Rebecca?
I love that you've used a little metaphor there today. So a blanket covering over you. So I feel like, that hamster on the wheel, like I'm going, I don't know where to stop, and I don't know how to stop. And then I stop and I freeze. That's how it shows up for me. I freeze. I become flustered and just lose focus on anything and everything around me. But here we are today to help you guys to think about what you can do if that does occur for you, because Sarah and I have got strategies that we use for ourselves, which may help you guys as well.
Perfect. And I love that, the hamster wheel. It's so true, isn't it? Go into that kind of action, run. Yeah. And
I'm like,
yeah. Totally resonate as well. Yeah. Okay, so what are the strategies? And the reason this has come up is because we had our first group coaching session of the year last week in the Coaching Catalyst membership. And it's very often because different people obviously come on with their own individual topics to be coached on. But what happens very often in these sessions is that we start to see common threads or common sort of themes emerging from the conversations. And one of the threads or themes that sort of emerged last week was this topic of overwhelm. And so what do we do? What are the strategies when we get overwhelmed? So I think the first thing that we've identified is that for both of us, although Rebecca goes into very kind of fast action mode first, I probably go straight under the blanket, if I'm honest. We get overwhelmed and we kind of freeze. As you said, Rebecca, we freeze and we stop, and we don't know then how to move forward. So what's the strategy if you recognize that you've got to that point where you're like, I can't see a way forward, or I can't take action because it feels too much, it feels too heavy, or it feels like I don't know the way forward? What would you suggest that you do?
So I, as you said, like go into that action, but then when I become, and I will feel it in my head, like I'll get headachy, I'll feel tired, and I will start beating myself up, and then I freeze. I actually start to reframe that. So, okay, I'm overwhelmed. I've identified that. And now I'm frozen. I use that moment of being frozen, but take it as reflection and downtime.
Okay.
I stay stopped. I'm not going to stay stuck. I stay frozen, but in a nicer way of frozen. Let's reframe that in a nicer way. And I gain clarity on, right, what's going on here to change in order to feel the way I want to feel. And that's where I stop, journal, reflect, and gain clarity on the thing, or it could be accumulation of things that have kind of got me into that position.
Right.
Then when I've identified that thing, that's when I then put a strategy in place in order to eliminate that overwhelm. So for me, it tends to be around childcare. It tends to be around you've not asked for enough support, Rebecca, because you think you can do it on your own, and you're trying to do it on your own, but actually this is the time now where you need support. So it could be I ask my partner to give me that downtime just so I can go for a walk, or I ask my mum to look after my daughter so that I can have like that child-free space. It could be I sign my daughter up for some after school activities, because it could be that I don't have enough time because of the child or children, so to speak. But for me, it tends to be I'm doing too much. What can I let go of, and who can support me in the other areas that I decide to keep?
Okay, great. I'm writing this down because it's really useful.
Yeah. No, it is.
I'm taking notes. I'm like, yes,
I could be terrible.
Good. She's really good.
You know that though. I can be the worst person when it comes to like taking stuff on, because I don't want to miss out on things, and I want to get involved in everything. And I'll go to my next top tip in a second once you've shared yours. But yeah, I've identified that I am this way. It's not healthy for me to be this way, because it leads to headaches and tiredness and exhaustion. And I'm not my best for anyone when I'm at that stage. So then I go down the route of, who do I need to help support me, and what do I need to let go of? Hey, Flourish Fertility and Med Case Studies, and Mohammed for joining us, and let us know what you do when you're feeling overwhelmed. So what's yours, Sarah?
Well, before I go to mine, let me just reflect back what I've noticed about our conversation, because it's been quite interesting. So both of us straight away went to a metaphor, right? Overwhelm for me feels like, and for me it feels like this blanket that comes over my head and I can't see a way forward, and I kind of feel paralyzed. For you, it feels like a hamster wheel, faster until you stop. So maybe for those of you listening, maybe that's a good starting point if that resonates for you. Overwhelm for me feels like what? Because sometimes when we identify, right, what it is, what's that metaphor, then we can start to make sense of it. The second thing that I noticed when you were talking, Rebecca, is you noticed what was going on in your body. You were like, I'm getting the headaches. What were the other physical things that you said? I can't remember.
Oh, gosh. So tiredness, fatigue.
Tiredness and fatigue.
Headaches is the key one for me.
Yeah.
That links to the tiredness and the feeling of fatigue.
Right.
The third one is I notice that I'm frantic. Like I'm just like, the dishwasher needs doing, and the laundry needs doing, and I need to do the shop, and then oh my god, I need to do business stuff as well. So yeah, 3 kind of really physical reactions and responses there to that feeling of overwhelm. Flourish Fertility has said, let me know your name as well, Flourish Fertility. It would be nice to address you by name. But you've said overwhelm feels like shut down, blank screen. Yeah. Is that how you feel, Sarah?
Yeah, it wouldn't be my metaphor, but I really love it. So thank you for sharing it. It wouldn't be my metaphor, but I totally resonate with what you're saying. Hey, Laura, Women Aloud is lovely. Laura, one of our Catalyst members. How are you? Oh, hey, Claire. So it's Claire from Flourish Fertility. Welcome.
Nice to meet you, Claire.
Okay, so that was the first thing that we both kind of thought, okay, what does it feel like? What does it look like? What's our sort of metaphor? So overwhelm is. Secondly, you talked about, okay, these are the physical things that I notice going on, what's going on with me physically. For me, similar, only I very much feel it in the top of my head.
Right.
And it feels like it needs to be released from the top of my head. I don't know if we've got any Reiki experts in the group, but I found Reiki really helps helps to release it when I get really overwhelmed. And then the questions that you asked yourself, because this is like gold, what you're saying here. You then say, right, okay, I recognize this is what I'm feeling. There's a stopping, and then there's a, okay, what do I need?
Yeah.
And that's such a good question. What do I need? And you said, okay, so sometimes you might say, well, I need space, right? I need space. I need to go for a walk, or I need kind of space that's sort of without children. I need to space myself. And then there's other questions that you've asked here. What can I let go of? And who can support me?
Yeah. And I'm writing this down now.
This is like our very own little private coaching session that's going on here.
I'm writing this down now. Yeah. What can I let go of and who can support me? And do you know what? I'm going to be honest, because this is all about being honest here and being open with you guys so that you feel that you're not alone. It takes me a little while before I stop, because I will keep pushing. Come on, Rebecca, you can keep going. It would take me a while and some self-control, discipline to stop and then to ask myself those questions.
Yeah.
What do I need? What do I need to let go of? Because I will keep fighting through it, keep pushing through it, because I'll be like, it'll get better. It will get better. But what we know is, no, something needs to change in order to see the result that you're looking for. And when we don't change, we continue to spiral into this uncontrollable storm of overwhelm, which is what we see with our clients. And then it can show up in the really, really most unresourceful ways.
Right.
So what I want people to know is stop. You need to stop. Don't do a me and keep going. Stop. And if you do stop and pause and reflect and ask yourself those questions, honestly, you will see such a change in the way that you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, all of those, aspects of our well-being that we talk about, Sarah. You will honestly see the most beneficial change just for you and for other people around you as well.
I love this. This is brilliant. So it's really, what you're saying is really resourceful as well, because it's not like, because sometimes when overwhelm comes up, we can go into victim mode, can't we? Like, oh, poor me, it's all too much. Well, I can't do anything about this.
I can't do it. Yeah. I can't do this. I can't change this. This is the way it's going to be.
All of that storytelling. And as I'm saying that, I'm like, I resonate with that. I've definitely been there myself and definitely heard myself saying those things. But what I'm hearing from you is a really resourceful response to go, okay, this is overwhelm.
Yeah.
And okay, what do I need? And okay, what am I going to do about it? And that's really empowering, right, to hear that, because you're in the driving seat there and you're like, I can do something about this.
Yeah.
Rather than oh my God, the whole world is spiraling out of control and I've got no control over this. That's a really, for me, that's a really good lesson to take away from your strategies there as well.
Well, thank you. I think I'm going to write this up as a next month's blog, I think.
Right. It's good. It's absolute gold. I'll tell you why it's absolute gold as well. It's because when you're in overwhelm, you can't think about this stuff. You can't be like, oh, okay, let me just check in and retrieve my strategies.
No.
Don't do that, because you're like in the overwhelm. So it's really useful to be like, okay, I've got a resource, I've got some strategies to go to, so that when I hit that place of overwhelm, as we all do, that we're like, oh, okay, there's something I can do about this here. It's good. It's useful.
Right, hit me with yours then. What goes on for you and what do you do?
Okay. So I think probably similar, like, okay, what's going on in my body? Definitely feel my head is about to explode. I think for me, it's about changing. I think I kind of, do I instinctively know? I either instinctively know or I've learned anyway that I have to change my state. And in order to change my state, I have to change what's happening in my body.
Yeah.
And so the easiest way for me to do that is, if it's in the daytime, just to get outside and just start walking. And that helps me. It just helps me regulate my state. So I'm like, okay, it's safe to calm down. It's all, it's okay. All I have to do is just put one foot in front of the other, and that's all okay. That's all I have to do. Just have to walk. Hey, Sofa Shop, thank you for being here as well. If it's not the daytime and all that option's not available to me for whatever reason, getting in the bath or having a shower, because that, like, being in water, like, very, very quickly sort of transforms the state. And so before I can even go to thinking or to journaling or to writing down strategies of stuff I'm going to do, it's about changing the physical state, number one. And then number two is probably similar to you, to journal. But what can work really, really well for me is to kind of, to write down everything that's in my head.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff is in my head. Let me get it all out onto paper. And then once it's on paper, it never looks as terrifying as it does when it's all in your head. Because when it's in your head, it keeps going. It keeps moving around, doesn't it? So writing it down, getting clarity to write it down, and then going, okay, what's one tiny action that I can take to move forward? And as I'm saying that, right, my voice is slowing down because I have to kind of coach myself and go, it's okay. Like, you don't have to do everything today. All you have to do is you just have to do one small thing that will help you move forward. And then when you've done that small thing, you know that you don't have to stay stuck, that you're in control here. You're in the driving seat and you can do something about this.
Yeah, as Claire said. Claire said it's so important to think of your physical state. Thoughts alone can't change a state, yes, especially anxiety and overwhelm. But the thought could be the catalyst towards the action that you need to change the state. Yes. So the thought is the starting point of then, okay, we've now got that thought, we've recognized it. Hey, Kim. And then now what we're going to do is the action part of how we're going to change the way that we feel. Yes. So, yeah, gosh. Do you know what I loved about what you said? There you go. I'm writing that down. That's gold there. Is the one thing. Now, we ask this question at the end of most of our trainings. What is the action that you're going to take? Because without action, there's no change, right?
Yeah.
And it's so easy to list all of the actions. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And that's where the self-control comes in. Because, okay, we've got loads of actions that we can take, but what we're asking of ourselves is just one.
Right. Yeah.
Just one.
Just one. That's good learning, isn't it, as well? Yeah, thank you for repeating that. Okay, I could keep talking. I'm sure we could both keep talking. But conscious of time, and thank you so much to those of you who've been here and who've joined us, and thank you for your contributions. If you're watching later on replay, let us know, like, what do you do? First of all, how do you recognize overwhelm when it comes up? And secondly, what strategies or tools do you have to do something about it? Or if there's something that we've said that resonates, let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear.
And before we go, on Thursday, we normally host quarterly goal setting and planning for our membership group. And we're doing that this Thursday, but we are inviting you guys, it's like a festive New Year gift to you to join us too. And it's a 1-hour session where you can gain clarity on what you want to achieve this year and beyond. But let's start with 2023 first. What you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve that. So again, that action of intention, or that process of setting an intention, and then the actions that are going to take us towards that. So if you want to join us for that, and you're part of our Catalyst community, because you're here, email hello@thecoachingcatalyst.com, or send us a DM with your email, and we will add you to that calendar invite so that we can see you on Thursday. And if you can't attend live, also email us and DM us, and then we will send you the replay as well.
Brilliant. Okay, always good to talk. Thank you. And guys, let us know your thoughts later. We'd really love to hear. Hope to see some of you on Thursday for the goal setting.